forward to that. So we're just on page 10 right now. So we're looking at 2D representations. So basically what we're going to be doing is we're going to be looking, drawing, and evaluating different objects. And it's going to make a lot more sense if we kind of just jump straight into it, which is we're actually going to draw each of these. Now, I accidentally printed this off for you. I did not mean to do that. So whoops. But just to kind of give you an idea of this, this is where we kind of have to use our imagination a little bit. It's a little bit of a tricky skill to acquire, but we need to imagine like what it would look like here. And we need to get a nice scale. Now your paper should be, now your paper itself, it should only be about, how many centimeters is that actually? Like 21-ish centimeters long. And you don't get all 21 centimeters to be able to draw something. So the first thing we typically want to do is we want to make a scale representation, which is just like our map. Maybe I want it so that, hey, 1 centimeter is equal to, maybe 1 centimeter in our drawing here is equal to 1 inch. So maybe we want something like that. Let me type that so it's a little bit neater. So maybe we want it so that 1 centimeter is equal to 1 inch on here. So what have I done? I've made a scale, I've made a scale that I can use. It's basically like a legend, right? Just like in maps. Hey, 1 inch on your map is 2 miles in the real world. That's just like this. So what we're going to do is we're going to draw the front of them. So we want to do the view of each face. Now the faces are the front, back, and the 2 sides, right? So the front, back, and the 2 sides. I know I need to draw 4 faces. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to try and draw the front face here. What would it look like? Now, this is where it's going to be really hard for me because I don't have a ruler. I can't measure my distances properly. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my ruler. Does everyone have a ruler? So I'm going to take my ruler and I'm going to start drawing. And I usually recommend start from the bottom. Either start from the very bottom or start from the very top. Pick one of the two and then work your way down or up respectively. I'm personally going to start from the bottom. And I can see here that, hey, this is 5 inches. So how long of a line do I need to draw? 5 centimeters, because that's what my scale is up here. So I'm just gonna draw, again, I'm just guessing here, but you guys are gonna draw a nice 5 centimeter flat straight line. And then I can see then I can see it eventually it's going to need to go up. It looks like it's a total of 9 inches. Now, we have no real way of knowing just how tall this needs to be. So that's not going to go. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my ruler. I'm going to kind of measure out what 9 inches is right in the middle of this. I'm just going to connect that little dot there. Because as you can see, that's this little tip of this thing here. And so then I'm going to extend it outwards. And I can see that it's 3 centimeters, or sorry, 6 inches from the tip of one all the way to the tip of other. And I can see that this thing's only 5. So what's going to happen is these are going to extend out just a little bit past it. And remember, it's 3D, right? I'm not just drawing a flat line. There's actually some depth to this here. This little red, this roof actually has some depth to it. We don't know how big it is, but I don't just draw a nice flat line. I need to actually factor that in there. Again, mine's going to look just awful compared to your guys's. And then all I have to do is I just have to kind of connect my points here. You're going to notice there's a little bit of there's going to be a little bit of an overhang from that roof to where our actual like floor of it is. So I'll give you a second. I do. I used to have the actual birdhouse, but like I've lost it somewhere between moving. I used to have this birdhouse. So now this is where, again, we have to kind of think here. So we're imagining that we're viewing this side just straight on. There's no angle, no nothing. So this little pole here that the birds are supposed to sit on, what do we actually see on the front of it? Just this little dot here, right? Just that little circle. So all we see is that tiny little circle. And then what do we see in the hole? Well, we see a hole. And that's it. Now, I don't just draw it and move on to it. Just like how I have the measurements over here, I need to also include those measurements in my drawing. So I know the base of it's 5. And those tips of the roof are 6 inches. So write 5 inches, write 6 inches. Even though my drawing's only 5 centimeters, that's just the scale I've chosen. It's represented 5 and 6 inches. And then how tall was the whole thing? 9. Again, don't worry if you're not doing too good of a job. You have the actual examples down low, but we're trying not to reference those. This is an opportunity to practice this skill. So that's our front. Now, again, we need to use our imagination here. Now what we're going to do is we're going to imagine the back of this. The tricky part here is we can't see the back in our picture. So we have to kind of, use some context here. So this looks like a solid prism, right? It keeps that same shape all the way through. So realistically, shouldn't the back have the same look as the front? It's just not going to have a ledge for them to stand on, and it's not going to have a hole for them to go in, at least as far as we don't know. So our next one is literally going to be, our backside is literally just going to be this same face, just without those 2 holes. Again, I can make a nice clumsy drawing. Your guys needs to actually look good and be the right measurements. I don't have that capacity on a computer, so. I'll give you a minute here just to kind of get everything up and running. About 30 more seconds. All right, so now what we're going to do is we're going to carry on with our faces here. Now, one thing I want us to kind of think about here is, so we're going to do the side. Now, do we think the left side and the right side are going to look the same? Yeah. Yes. So there's no point drawing them both, right? So I can just literally do one drawing and it's going to be for both of them. So let's start doing that. So we're going to draw the side. And the first thing I need to think about is, well, how long does it go? Any guesses? 10 inches. Yeah, it's 10 inches long. Yeah. So I'm gonna start with that. I'm gonna start with a nice 10-inch line. For you guys, that'd be 10 centimeters. Oh gosh, that's not a good one. And I can see that the side is also going to be how tall? 9. Now, again, let's think about this. If I'm looking at this birdhouse this way, I'm looking at it directly on, I'm going to see this roof here, right? But what's that roof going to look like? It's just going to look like flat line going all the way down. So I'm still going to see the whole thing is still going to be 9 inches tall to the very, very tip of the roof. This part here, this is just the tip of the roof, but I'm still going to see the gutters out, right? Like somewhere around there, we don't actually know, it doesn't tell us exactly where, but somewhere I'm going to see the gutters out. So I'm just going to take my best guess and figure out where that is. Now, is there anything else I'm going to see from the side view before I start labeling my dimensions? Yeah, I'm still going to see this little stand kicking out. What's it going to look like? Yeah, it's going to look like a rectangle. I can't see the fact it's a curved object. Were you here yesterday? Yes. If you were. Oh, I wasn't. So realistically, that seems about right. I can see I have the tip of the roof. That's the top of this rectangle. I can see I have the gutters of that roof, that solid red line there. I don't know how tall it is, so I'm doing my best guess. And I have the little stand for the bird. So now all I need to do is label it. I know that this thing is 9 inches tall. I know it is 10 inches long. I don't know how long anything else is though, right? I don't know how long the kickstand is. I don't know how tall the gutters are. That's all I can label on it. So that's my two sides. Is there anything else I need to do? I could, yeah, I could label that these are sides. I could label, one's the front, one's the back. But is there any like the top and the bottom are still sides, right? If I'm an engineer and I'm designing, if I'm designing even like, you know, this hole puncher, it still has a view from the top, it still has a view from the bottom. So I still need to do that. Oops, I was just spilled that everywhere. So I still need to also do the top and the bottom. Now, just like with the sides, are the top and the bottom going to look the same? No, they're not. So we're going to go and do the top here. I'm going to zoom out just a little bit, just kind of see. So what are we going to see when we look at this directly from above? Just the roof, right? The roof covers up everything else. We'll see this kickstand too. So we're just going to see the roof and the kickstands. So that's all we need to draw. So I don't actually care about like drawing in the fact that, hey, look, the roof's overhanging it, because I'm not gonna be able to see that. All I'm gonna see at, I'm right above this, going straight down. All I'm gonna see is just the roof. So there's two rectangles and this little stand. That's it. And it's still gonna be 10 inches. Now, do we know how long these roof stands are? 6 inches, yes. So it's still going to be 10 inches, and in your guys' case, should be 10 centimeters. Again, I apologize, I can't draw that very well to scale on the computer, but it's going to be 10 inches long, and it's going to be 6 inches tall. And then what's going to be in the middle of it? Probably a line that just shows that, hey, this is the roof. You're eventually going to be given real objects to do this with, by the way. So 6. And I'm going to see a bit of a kickstand right through the middle. So once you've done this is the top. So once you've done the top, what I want you guys to try and do is try and think about what it would look like from the bottom. I'll put that up here in a second.
Hey, Matt, is that AIN?
Oh, in the bottom there?
No, on the side.
Oh, 9 inches. Yeah, 9 inches. So I'll give you another minute here. Just try and draw what you think the bottom of this would look like. Okay. So if we're thinking about this from the bottom perspective, what would we see first on the bottom? Oh, sorry, just let me
We just see a square probably.
you see two actually, you see two rectangles. I would see the base of it, but then I would also see this stuff that extends from the roof. So, but I would still have a 5 by 10 square. So I'm going to draw my 10 here. I would still have it'd be 5. So 10, 5. Now I would also see these little things hanging off from the roof, right? So I'd also see just those gutters hanging out as well. We don't know how big those are, but that'd be on both sides. And I know all of those would be 6. So I'd still need to label that. Well, actually, we would know it'd be a half an inch actually, but oh well.
Hey man, those the top and bottom smaller lines, that's like. When you're looking at it from the bottom, that's
When you look at it from the bottom, you got those little gutters there on the roof. Yeah.
Okay.
We'll give you 30 seconds here. You're gonna notice, so I goofed up. I printed the wrong one. I'm pretty sure you guys have those boxes on your screen, right?
Yep.
Okay, well, that's what the answer is. So whoops. We'll skip that one.
Hold on. Yeah, at 6 inch by 9 inch, that's from the front and back. Right? Oh, that's very top looking.
Oh,
That's from the front and back, right? Or
That-
is this from?
the 9 inches is the height of it. Oh yeah, well, it's the front and the back. Yeah, yeah, those are the front and the back. Yeah.
Okay, so 5 inches is the square and then 6 inches is the little.
with the roofs, yeah.
Okay.
So this next one here, these boxes were not meant to be here. We were supposed to do that. But all I'm just gonna say is what they actually did here was, well, if this is supposed to be 120 centimeters long. Now, I should have it printed to scale. So it's supposed to be 120 centimeters long. If it's a 1:15 ratio, well, then it's actually gonna be 8 centimeters wide. Is that the case? Is this line here 8 centimeters wide on yours? On your actual paper? If it's
No.
measured? No?
Probably. Well. No, it's only like 5 inches.
Oh.
5 centimeters.
5 centimeters. Okay. Well, nope, that's unfortunate. Oh well. That's fine. We'll just skip that. We're going to this one. This one's always fun. So, like I said, this one here is a really big, it kind of really messes up our mind. So this is where a pencil and an eraser is a really handy thing. So it wants us to figure out the top, the front, and the side views of this set of blocks. So this is literally a set of blocks that was put on top of each other, and it wants you to draw it from the different angles. So let's try it from the front view. So again, if we're looking at it from the front view, what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually shade all the blocks of the front view, because then that tells me, okay, this is what I can see in that case. You can only see the front of each of these blocks. And all of a sudden, it should become a little bit easier to be able to figure out what the heck is going on. So just like before, either start on the top or start on the base. I'm going to start on the base here, but how many blocks across is the base? 4 of them. So I'm just going to quickly draw 4 blocks, right? This is the front view. And then I'm going to go on this left side of this block. Now, how high up does the left side go up? Well, it goes up 1, 2, 3, but then also 2 more. So in total, there should be 5 blocks. There should be cubes. There should be 5 cubes in total, not an extra 5, just 5 in total. Keep those the same height, I guess, at this point. I've already messed up. So then I'm going to go to the other side, the right side. How many blocks do we see on the right side going up? Just 3, right? So then the only things I have to now do is I just have to work left to right. So if I go to the very left now, let me make you a little bit bigger. All I now see is these 2 blocks. Oh, come on. So now I got a block to the left, and then that goes up 1. And then what do I see next? Oh, well, it's moving 1 to the left. And then it's a fully connected piece here. So this would be the front view. I don't have to label anything else because I don't know the dimensions of this block. But this is what the front view would look like. And then all this stuff I'm highlighted in yellow here, you just see through that, don't you? Like there's nothing actually there. When you're looking at it from this perspective, there's nothing there. You just see whatever's behind that. Like I said, I'm going to actually give you a physical one of these at some point. Probably, well, it will be next week. And you're going to draw it out. So If you're struggling right now, it's just like, it's hard to figure it out on paper. Once you see a physical object of it, it will make more sense. But so this is the front view, right? So check, done that. So this is where a pencil's really handy, because what can I do? I can go and erase all this stuff I've been doing. I can just go and erase that. And now I can do, make that red. The top, I'm going to do the top view of it now. So I'm just going to color on the top of all the blocks I'm going to see, right? You just color the top part of each block. And again, that's where a pencil is really handy to be able to shade it. So I will give you a minute here. Try and sketch out that top view of this.
Now, should we color in and put the yellow there for the front?
No, you don't have to do that.
But we could just represent that.
You could, if that helps you, you could do that, yeah.
Just in my opinion, just so it's easier just to see from the view, right?
You could, like, if that's helpful for you, absolutely. Because sometimes you will have to, like, one question eventually in the future might be calculate the area of the space in between or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, so what you should ultimately get is, if I'm doing the top view, again, I'm gonna start from, I like starting like with that same base just to kind of keep it. It's still gonna be 1, 2, 3, and 4 wide. Oh, that's not a good one. Oh my gosh. Really? Need a different software. So it's still 4 wide. And then I can see it only actually goes up 1. Now, this is where it gets a little tricky. There is a third block there. It's kind of hidden though, isn't it? Like review, but there is a third block there. So it actually goes up. One more. And then how many times does it go right? It goes 1, 2, and 3, because we've already done this block here. So it's just going 1, 2, and 3 additional ones. Like I said, my drawing's not that good.
Oh, that's what the answer is, excluding that block.
Yeah. And so now where I am in this is I am still right here. This is the latest block I just did. So what do I need to do? I need to go 1 up. But I also need to go, oh God, there's supposed to be 2 in here, but wait, no, 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh no, there's, yeah. So this is my fault. I should have been doing nice cubes the whole time. So I apologize for that. But so I can see it's 3 high on the left side. It goes 4 across, and on the right side, it goes 5 up. So, and then this would be my top view. Looking at it from the top. So what I'm going to have you guys do is I'm going to give you about 5 minutes for this. I'm going to have you do the side view now. Oh, no, not 5 minutes. Give you about 3 minutes for this. I'm going to get you to do the side view. I'm going to come walk around 1 minute, see how we're doing. So you got 3 minutes. Try out the side view here. And I will come around in 1 minute. Oh yeah. Just understand. Just looking there, so it's right from the side, so 4 across. Yeah, that's perfect. Yes. Okay. So you guys will be 4 across. So you got 5 in there.
Oh, yeah, of course.
So like one way I like thinking about it is like just kind of like going like following it as it goes. So it goes 4 across, then we go 2 up. 1 left, and then it goes 1 up. 1 left, 1 up, and so on and so forth.
Oh. So it's over here.
So from this side, I'm gonna have. Oh, I see. So you did this block, but this block is hidden by that one. So that was the issue there.
Oh, okay.
Just gonna move that all like that.
Oh, okay.
Yes, yeah. They're gonna be very similar, just what's small. Yes.
So we're gonna do the side view here. So that's what the other one there, so, but how many blocks do you see on the side? Four, so you're just gonna drop it. And then, so this is, these are the same block, right? Or then you are kind of in your center. How many blocks do you go up?
Actually,
Two, yes, yeah, three total. Okay, so now we're in here, now how many do you have to go? Yeah, you have to go, yes. So now you're on this one, and then you have to go up one. Yeah, drop. The next, so now we're on this.
so then the speeds.
Well, there's no space at all, actually. Right here, so this is where we just do it, and then. Now, we gotta go.
Yes.
Right like that.
Okay.
Yeah, so that is this one. Draw.
Sorry, that one.
No, so you just like that, right? So
Okay.
that's this block right here.
Mhm.
Now you have to go,
Oh, yeah.
oh, sorry, I used up, supposed to go back. I'll give you that in a second,
Okay. One.
and then it's gonna go, so we do it, yes, and it's gonna go. Up one. And then. Down, oh, actually, no, that's good, okay, that's good, and then wait, so you still gotta go one.
Okay, so then-
Well, one more kind of thing, yeah. So now you've done all of that, now go to speed.
so that's-
Yes, yeah. Also, those are gonna get that.
One, all together.
Yeah, so technically,
So this one is-
yeah, so it'd just be like that, that makes sense.
Oh, okay.
But there's only four. Try out the other side, this is the hardest one because we can't actually see it. Oh, yeah. No, I think I saw your other side. Yeah, I did. Yes. Yeah, that looks good. If you like drawing, typically this tends to be a bit easier, just because you have more experience with it.
That invisible side is gonna be the tricky part. Because you wanna try and go from the other side. They are gonna look a little bit different, specifically where that space is gonna end up being. So I'll give you another minute or two for that.
So yeah, that the log isn't used as specialized math outcomes, right?
Kinda, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. I think that's the thing. And in the grand scheme of things, you don't really need to know log.
No, no.
Diet for university calculus.
Well, for university, yes, but for like, for this class and like just like real, like, life, no.
Okay, and then with that too, for university, would they really touch up on it?
They would, yeah, they do an introduction to all the topics. It's quite fast though. So like,
Yeah, it'd be like.
well, how university math is, it's like, okay, here's how you multiply, here's how you divide. And then the question they throw at you on the test is just some like, it's to that like on steroids. They like teach you the most basic concept and then it's okay, and instantly the most advanced question you can think of.
Oh.
Like you're expecting, it's like here's the concept. You now know it.
Yeah. Even if they don't teach you fully on the concepts, like on the test, it's, you should know this, right? Kind of like that.
It's more so the fact that like they don't have, it's a lot faster. Like a university class is usually like 4 times faster than a high school one. So it's like, you don't get like time, like there's no like practice time or like, here's all the different types of examples. It's like, here's how you multiply numbers and then you do all the stuff on your own.
Yeah, that's what my little brother was kind of funny. There was time majority of their classes, this is how it works for you too, is like 60% of it is writing notes, and the other 40% is like listening to your teacher. And then it's on your own time, is what you do the assignment.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. So. Again, side view, I can see it's gonna be, I'll just whip it out really quickly. It's gonna be 4 in total, going across, then it's gonna go up 1, 2. Then across 1, and it's gonna go up 1. And then it's also gonna go across again. Nope. Again, this is why I like doing this. So I'm right here. So it's gonna go, yeah, left 1. Where did I just goof up? Where did I just?
You would put another
Oh.
square right underneath that square you put by itself right there. And then 2 more above. Yeah, 1 square and 1 above it and 1 below it.
Yeah, okay, there we go.
Or well, actually below it, need 2 squares.
Yes, perfect. Okay. Again, like I'm personally one of the guys, like I like doing, like you see I'm doing dots, right? I like marking it. I like following the leader basically. That's something that helps me a lot. Yeah, and then this right here is just a blank space.
I would think it was 1 right and 1 to the bottom.
Oh, you're right. You're right. Yes.
And then for the
Yeah.
other side, it would be the opposite.
Yeah, and then the other one would just be like a copy paste of this, but it'd be the other side. Yes. Yeah. So it's an interesting skill, and so right now we're doing it on paper. When we come back tomorrow, I'm going to be giving you physical objects to do this with, and that's when we're going to be figuring out the scaling component as well. So it's trying to imagine it from the different perspectives, and eventually we're going to add in that scale part of it right now. So what we're doing here just for the rest of the day is it's just some time to be able to work on these questions here. They are meant to be tricky. Please ask for help if you need it. It is not easy. It's a acquired skill that takes some time. This is exactly like what you use for like architecture and like engineering, AutoCAD, like all that stuff. Yeah. Even just like construction as well. Is
Could I ask for help on the outside of it, right? It would be much different compared to that. Wouldn't it?
So this is the top.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right, and then. Front would be either.
Oh, but I'm sorry, say that again?
Take from the top looking at it, as if you're up on it.
Yeah.
Up and down, and then the front is either side. Then I would.
The front, yeah, the front and the back, you can do the front and the back and the sides. The front is gonna be the same for the back and the side. The 2 sides will be the same, so.
So rather than the side would be a elongated part.
You could do that, yeah, there's fine, yeah, if you wanna say that, hey, I think these inside and this is the front, that's fine too.
Oh, yeah, so we're just like, well, I was not sure what I'm saying, so we're just like, this is the front and the outside.
Yeah, I think you should say it's front, but like, either way, you're gonna get the same drawing.
Mhm.
So.
Okay, but it's, we just jump as. We would think it would seem from either side.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so like with this, I would got maybe even this and then. That,
Like, which is this? The
from front to the back, because it would.
Oh, but
This is like the handle, but obviously we didn't see the button.
one thing you will see is you can see it here.
And because it's not, oh, so this would be on the side instead of,
Well, but so if you look like, well, this is front, right?
that's what I'm assuming.
Yeah, so yeah, so we're on the front here, so you have. Video else, the handle here. So it needs to be pretty, when you're looking at it in front, with that, you can come to that. So you can have that little gap, just in time. Yeah.
Okay, so we should assume it's like a toolbox where the front is. Yeah. Kind of. That's whatever.
Yeah. The other thing as well, is you wanna make sure you keep the scale still on drawing this, so like. Like with the blocks, we can kind of just go with that, with this one, we know it's 24, so if this, maybe I'm doing like, hey, 1 centimeter is. You know, 2 inches or something, then that means this would be a 12 centimeter.
Okay, so that's what you want to.
Yeah,
So it's not the same way. with This.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah,
And then-
so, yeah, so do it after, and it's also can get into the distance of the next one.
But like on scale.
On scale. Yeah, and sometimes you can do like, you know, probably, oh no, you're fine, but yeah, so. So if you know, if you got a big enough paper, you could really draw a 24-inch line, but our paper is. So yeah, if you want to introduce scale and sharpen, you can do it. Yeah,
Okay, and that's from every side.
that's what all.
Yeah.
Well, all 3 views, so, yeah, all the 2, yeah, the front and the back and the 2 sides.
So I would scale all of it from each view.
Yes.
But it's, I would want to also make the scale like. This amount, like 1 centimeter equals this amount of inches.
Yeah, yeah, so you want to, yeah, so you want to say, like, hey, 1 centimeter, we should use 2 or 3 or something, usually 1 or
Like
2.
2 centimeters equals 1 inch or something. like that.
Yeah, 1 centimeter is 2, just 2 inches probably would work in this case,
Yeah,
yeah,
maybe 3, but yeah.
yeah, so you will be using a lot of rulers.
This uses a lot of rulers.
Okay, so pretty much I just did raise this and then,
Yes, yeah.
okay.
Sorry, I meant to